Hi guys, it's Irene and welcome to ILO on Location episode 6. Today on the show, I am pulling an episode from The Vault. What were we all talking about before coronavirus? When was the last time you sat down with your girlfriend face to face? Tune in to my testisode. That's test episode, not some kind of slang for testicles, which I recorded with the amazing, gorgeous, multi-talented Terra C Macleod. You might remember Terra from my episode 1 when we talked to her live from her home in New York City. It just so happened that she was here in the country visiting me for my birthday just a few short weeks before coronavirus changed all of our lives. We had the chance to sit down together. Can you believe it? Terra is not only an incredible musical theater performer, most well known for her amazing portrayal of Velma Kelly in the hit Broadway musical Chicago, in which she performed the role on Broadway and internationally on their world tour. She is also an amazing fur baby mama to her adorable puppy Bella, a 3-time Jussie-nominated performer for her work in Blood Brothers, Spamalot, and West Side Story here in BC, an accomplished film and television actress, as well as a choreographer, director, professional photographer, and most recently, social media strategist, currently building her own business. She'll be my awesome guest today, and we are going to talk about everything from how to pursue your dreams with structure, purpose, and discipline, to being professional and prepared financially and creatively as an artist so you can pave your way to longevity and consistency in the arts, as well as touch upon mental health and how to keep a strong mind and spirit in our industry of hustle, struggle, and rejection. So, stick around for my conversation with one of my favorite Wonder Women, Terra! Welcome to the ILO on Location podcast. I'm your host, Irene Loper. That's ILO for short. And my podcast is all about having fun, connecting with your friends, and breaking shit down. Guys, I'm practically halfway to 100, and when I look around at my circle of friends, I see the most incredible women. They make me laugh out loud, they support me through everything, and they inspire me with their amazingness. So, join me on my couch, grab a bottle of rosé, and let me bring you the gift of the gab to brighten your day. Hi, welcome to ILO on Location. And guess where I'm on location at, everyone? My own house. This may not happen often because technically I will be going on location on this podcast to various offices, homes, theatrical spaces, events, just basically a lot of amazing places, set stage, seeing amazing women who have so many good things to say and share that I'm going to be talking to. Today, I am on location in my living room with my friend, Miss Terra C Macleod. We are not having wine tonight. We are having champagne or Prosecco. What is it?
It's Prosecco.
It's Prosecco. Okay. We're having Prosecco.
Champagne's from the region.
Okay. We're having Prosecco, and we're actually having La Marca, which was my wedding Prosecco that one of my diva bitches, Jane Weston, suggested, and it was a hit, and it's still to this day one of my favorite Proseccos. So we're going to start with pouring this. This bottle that I'm actually pouring was a gift for opening night in my current show, Talking Sex on Sunday, that is currently playing. Stand by. So Terra.
Yes.
Here's a champagne glass.
Thank you.
And here is some Prosecco.
Oh, I love it.
Now,
thank you.
Oh, yes. Can you hear that? Can you hear that?
Can you hear like ching ching?
Yeah. Now, let's just say for the podcast and the record and all of our viewers, there is no drinking and driving because Terra is staying with me this weekend.
That's right.
And I live here. So the only thing we'll be doing is drinking and stumbling upstairs to bed.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So cheers.
Cheers.
Yay,
Ooh, congratulations.
First of all, Terra, welcome to Vancouver. Welcome back.
So happy to be back.
Let's just say, why are you here?
For you.
Exactly.
Just for you.
Exactly.
I came here to see you in your show, and
That's
it was your
right.
birth week.
It's right. So I have
the week.
my friend Terra, who lives in New York, who's Broadway actress and film and TV, theatrical international artist, actor, singer, dancer, choreographer, director. So our puppies are on our laps.
Yep.
It's 11:30 at night. Actually,
You
it's
just
close
had
to
two
midnight.
shows.
I just did a double show day, and now we're doing our first podcast live. I want to start by asking you, how did we meet?
Ooh, this is a good story. I had moved to Vancouver. I was a waitress at the Boathouse.
Oh my God!
I was a waitress
with
at the
Nicola and
Boathouse.
Brent.
That's right. And I had seen, I think it was in the Georgia Strait, I saw an audition for Tony and Tina's wedding.
Yes.
So I was going to go. And I had just recently moved here. I'd finished a contract in Japan, and I had a customer. And this customer and I just ended up talking.
Oh my
and he said, well, I'm an acting teacher. I'm in the business. I said, yes. I said, well, I'm actually auditioning for this show, Tony and Tina's Wedding. And he looks at me and goes, I have a friend in Tony and Tina's wedding.
Oh my God.
And he said, you'll love her. Her name's Irene. Give her a call. She'll give you all the tips. I remember I called. I left a message on your voicemail.
Oh my God.
Or maybe it was an answering machine.
Yeah,
at
probably
that
an
time.
answering machine. Yeah.
And then I remember you called me back, and one of the first things you said was, how old are you? And I said, oh, I'm 23. You went, yeah, I am too. And you so are not. You're older than me. Do you remember? She was like, how old are you? I was like, I'm 23. Oh, yeah, I am too.
Oh my God, I was lying.
You
I
still lying.
Yeah, I still lie. Halfway to 90, halfway to 90.
Yeah, and then I think we had a conversation about like,
Yes.
I think I asked you to give me tips, and this is all through Andrew.
Andrew McElroy. Okay, first of all, let's just take Andrew McElroy, my very first acting teacher, a mentor, a very dear friend, also still currently a dear friend and mentor. He is the acting coach, the acting teacher of Vancouver. He works internationally, and he is A-list and one of the most loyal, generous human beings on the planet. So shout out to Andrew McElroy.
Yeah, that's how we met.
Oh my God, that's right.
Crazy?
Okay, that's crazy.
And then I ended up getting it.
Of course.
And then we worked together.
And became obviously
dear
fast friends.
Yeah.
Fast friends. Okay, so that's so funny. I remember
Love that
that
story.
And
How old are you?
I lied about my age, obviously. Okay, and then this was fun because I remember, Tara, you had this apartment in the West End, and one time after the show, this was after Tony and Tina's wedding, which we did for many, many shows. I came back to your apartment, and then you showed me all your videos of all your Japan
because I'd sang
Ocean Dome
I
shows,
sang
and
Gloria
cruise
Estefan
ships. Yeah.
in Japanese.
And Tara had a video of her entering on a barge in a red dress. And I was basically, oh my God, I need to be your best friend. So then we did Tony and Tina's wedding. And I was actually just telling the girls in the dressing room tonight, had I not met Tara, I never would have pursued musical theater.
Really?
Yes, because when we were doing Tony and Tina's wedding, and I was playing, I think, Celeste, the lounge singer.
Celeste, yeah, the lounge singer.
You had said to me during Tony and Tina's wedding, you know what, Irene, have you ever thought about doing musical theater? And I was like, no, I don't even know what it is, how I would do it. And you said you should go to New York and take a fucking class.
Oh, that's right. And then you went.
And then I went to Circle in the Square. I took a musical theater summer intensive. Came home and got my first part, Mazeppa, Gypsy, Royal City with Lloyd Nicholson, the late stunning Lloyd Nicholson, along with Dolores and then other gentlemen who at the time ran Massey Theater. So because of your generosity on suggesting something for me to do,
I love that.
I found a new passion, and I did not even know I actually could sing and have a musical theater.
Isn't that amazing?
It's
so great.
Isn't it?
I love that.
So while I may have helped you get into Tony Tina's wedding and give you tips, that paying it forward attitude paid it forward right back to me.
That's right. You share.
You share.
You share what you...
Charlotte, stop licking. My puppy has an itch. Charlotte, it's Charlotte. And that is one of the things that I love about Tara, because she is one of the most generous people that I know in like her heart and her mind and everything. You're such a loyal friend. and you're a very big inspiration because you're so driven, you're so hardworking, you're so dedicated, and it's really inspiring.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Irene.
You're welcome. Okay, so we met at Tony and Tina's wedding. Of course, we were both fabulous, and that show was so fun.
Oh my gosh, I have all video footage of
Yeah.
it too.
No, that was-
So like I tell people, tape us.
Oh.
You're non-equity.
Yeah.
You can,
Oh my
For
God.
those that don't
Oh,
know,
yeah.
non-equity. When you're in a union show, you
Fuck,
can.
we were making good money in that show.
I know.
Oh,
I
that was
know.
so fun. Shout out to Tony and Tina's wedding.
Shout out.
I would love a
loved
remount.
it.
We
Loved
were all
it.
like way too old now, but we'd still kill it.
What do you mean we're too old? We could do it.
Oh no, we totally could. I could be
Well,
Celeste.
Yeah, you could, but I think Tina's getting married in her 20s.
Yeah, well,
Well, it's a bit of a stretch.
yeah, it's a bit of a stretch. Tina's divorced. Third time divorce. Third time
Exactly.
divorce.
It's her fourth wedding.
Yeah, it's her fourth wedding. So fast forward, because here's the thing. There's a lot of young talent in the city locally. We know some of them through friends, and there's a profession that we have chosen to be focusing on in our lives, which is the acting profession. And you're a really good example of somebody who's actually made a career and a living as a performer only. And let me tell you, that is not an easy task at hand. Many, in fact, I would say like, I don't know, 90%, I certainly don't know statistics of performers have to have a subsidiary income.
Yeah.
It's impossible to make a living. Since I have known you, you have made a solid living as a performer. So tell me a little bit about that. How did that manifest? Was it because you saw opportunities, let's say 6-month contract on a cruise ship, bank some money, or were you just fortunate enough to get cast regularly?
Yeah, I wish that was the case. No. I think it was, well, part of it I would say is right time, right place, and luck, and strategizing for the contracts that will allow you to bank. So in your times when you're not working, you have a cushion. And if you have a side hustle, whether that side hustle is artistic or it is in a regular, just a normal job, you don't have to touch those funds. So I was lucky because I was lucky, yes, and I worked very hard, but I had like 3 contracts overseas where I was able to really bank a lot of money. At the time, a lot of money for me.
Yes.
I should say it was only in my late 20s that it started to happen, because throughout my 20s, out of school, I always had a side hustle, whether I was teaching dance,
Right.
whether I was coaching, or I was working at the boathouse.
Yeah, that's true.
And I would waitress and make great money.
Yeah.
But then when the whole, there comes that point you want to do a cruise ship, you want to do the theme park. I have
Yes.
a lot of friends that did the Tokyo Disney thing, the cruise ship thing. You could bank and then you audition and you pound the pavement. You really do.
So for some of those young performers that may be graduating from the CAP College program or Studio 58 program that say are triple threats that can sing and dance, there is employment opportunities, shorter term, sort of on those cruise ships where they do theatrical performances.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Everybody's journey is very different. I wanted to travel. That was another aspect. So for me, I have friends whose stories are very different. They're like, I went to New York, I went to Toronto, I auditioned, and I did the big shows.
Right.
Great. I wanted to travel.
Right.
And so I went for the opportunities that would allow me to do what I love to do.
Yes.
And then see the world. I had, by the age of 25, I had lived in Japan for almost 3 years.
Oh, you lived in Japan?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
that's
my
where I sang
God.
Gloria
Oh,
Estefan in
you
Japanese.
did stay there.
Yeah, for like almost 2.5 years,
Right.
3 years.
Were we friends when that was
Yeah,
happening?
yeah.
How do we stay in touch? Because nowadays,
Letters.
back in the
phone
day,
calls.
was that what it
Yes.
was? There email back then?
No.
Isn't
No.
that fucking
There
crazy?
that is crazy. There was no email. I remember by my 3rd contract, there was something coming up called email.
Yeah, okay.
But it was
weird.
very, very
But I
new.
remember those.
I have
remember
letters.
you.
I have
Yeah,
letters you
was
wrote me
it
'cause I still have
letters?
them,
Oh
yeah.
my god, we need to read those letters at
I
some
have them.
point.
I have them at
Oh
home
my god.
in
Okay,
Montreal.
for the younger generation, by the way, Tara and I are fabulous, mature women. But
Yes.
we used to write letters, like not text
Yeah, I
your
still have
friend.
them.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Yeah. You're right.
Okay, so then copy that. So basically, you had those opportunities. You were
Yeah.
able to bank some money, build your resume, get
Yes.
experience,
Yes.
travel internationally, make a lot of friends. I know, which you still are friends with a lot of these people. So
Yeah.
your loyalty and your connection, that you stay connected, has always been a big thing about your heart. So then, tell my listeners your experience, because I think, if I'm correct, a real pivotal turning point in your career was a show called Chicago. Now, from my memory, you had auditioned for Chicago a number of times, but did not get cast. But you never gave up on
Right.
auditioning for the show.
Right.
Whether it was an open call in New York or an open
Right.
call somewhere, you would continue to go. You'd always kill it, but
Yep.
it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
But then one time you got an opportunity while you're actually supposed to be filming on set in Vancouver, where there was a French version of Chicago
Right.
doing a Montreal show.
Yeah.
And you said, being bilingual, you know what? This is my ticket.
Yeah.
I'm going to submit for this. And tell me what happened
Yeah.
there. Who told you about that opportunity?
So
How did you hear about it?
it was kind of the buzz around the city. I'd heard from some agents. Then I approached my agent that this was very shortly after the movie had come out.
Oh, with
the
Renee
movie,
Zellweger?
once the movie came out, all these international companies bought the rights and they wanted to mount the New York version. So I guess what happened was a bunch of producers around the world contacted New York, bought the rights, and they started mounting them. There was all these regulations. It had to have the same set, same costume, their creative team. And that's exactly what happened in Montreal, because the objective was to go to not New York, Paris.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Paris.
So it's one of those stories that, you'll hear actors, performers will say, that big break where everything shifted.
Yes.
And it was a very big break because I knew it would give me the opportunity to work for an American company for a show that I loved. And if I did a good job and I proved myself and I really worked hard, maybe I would have a chance.
Right.
I didn't even think, and I'm going to get to Broadway. No, it was maybe I'll have a chance and they'll take a chance on me going to the New York company. And, to make a very long story short, is exactly what happened.
Right.
The producer came in and said, you keep working hard and we'll get you to New York.
Right.
And it was one of those stories that I just the years leading up to that, it was also something like, someone just asked me this recently, the moment will come, you have to be ready.
Yes. Yes.
That was pivotal. I had been training for years. I had done some shows here in Vancouver at the Arts Club.
Yes, Jesse nominated for West Side Story.
Yeah.
You have amazing credits here.
Yeah. And I would still take dance classes at Harvard Dance Center. I was still in ballet class. I had a voice teacher here.
Yeah.
It was nonstop
It was
for me.
nonstop.
And I was really, really at that. You're like in the Olympics of,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And so when that audition came, I was 150% ready.
Right. Right.
And I think when I speak to a lot of people in this milieu, that big break, you're ready.
Yeah. So that's another thing for these young performers coming under the CAP College programs or Studio 58, just young artists, that you need to continue honing your craft.
Absolutely.
So that you are ready for the opportunity, should it come in 1 month or 5 years.
That's right.
You never know. But
never
if
know.
you're not on your game and you can't do your best at the audition, that opportunity that might be there, you might not land because you're not at your prime.
That's right.
And so what you're saying is you would work regularly, working out at the gym, whatever, keeping your voice, even though you weren't in a show, just to stay ready and prime.
Right. And it's like what I will say this even, sometimes in interviews when I do Chicago, they ask, how do you do the same thing over and over? Or how do you stay in shape? Or how do you do this? And I said, there's no difference between us and athletes. Athletes have their on season, their off season. But if you've dedicated your life to a sport and that is what you want to do, there is a discipline, there is a stamina, there is a lifestyle that goes with it. It's the same thing for acting, singing, and dancing.
Yeah.
And for some reason, there's a bit of a disconnect that they're the same. They're different, of course, but it's that discipline and stamina, because the reality, and I had read this somewhere once, I don't even know if it's true, but I read there's a 5% employment rate in the performing arts.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So whether that's true or not, I can definitely attest that whether it's 5% or maybe even 10%.
Yeah.
It's very competitive.
So let me just say this. So Tara, did you fly to Montreal for this audition?
Yeah. So I was at the time filming The
Here.
Dead Zone.
Yes.
Yeah. I was doing, I had a week on The Dead Zone and I couldn't get out. And I offered to send a tape. They wouldn't want it. They didn't want it. The New York team wanted to see me in person. So I kind of let it go. And a month went by and they said, send the tape and we'll let you know if we're interested in you flying out. And it was one of those I flew out.
Yeah, right.
After they saw the tape.
Tara is from Montreal.
Yeah.
So this was going back to your hometown.
Yep.
And let me just say, Tara wasn't auditioning for an ensemble dancer. She wasn't auditioning for one of the tango cheerleaders.
The Merry Murderesses.
Tara was auditioning for Velma Kelly. And for any of you that know the Chicago musical, that is the Catherine Zeta-Jones role in the movie, and that is the sassy, sexy, vibrant character that Bebe Neuwirth made famous, I think,
and Cheetah Rivera.
So she went from 0 to 100.
I was like, okay.
There was no like, I'm going to audition and just get into the company. I'm going for the lead
Well, I think it's
role.
I think it's what my agent submitted me for because it was all that was available. I would have gone for anything. When I found out they're doing a Montreal company in Chicago, I was like, I just want to go. It wasn't like I even said Velma or Roxy. I don't even think at the time I thought it was even an option.
Right.
I thought, oh, they're going to get somebody. I just want to audition. And then my agent submitted me for it. I was like, okay.
So then you fly to Montreal and you do the entire audition in French.
In French.
And you book the show.
I booked the show.
And you open in Montreal just for laughs.
Yeah.
And then you go to Paris with it.
For 6 months.
And then Broadway.
And then Broadway. It was that fast.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Isn't
it was like within a year.
crazy?
Yeah. Within a year, my life completely changed. Yeah. It was insane.
And then, okay, so then you go to Broadway and you set up shop there in New York. And is that when you officially moved there?
Well, I only had an O1 visa. No, at the time it was a P2 visa. Chicago got me my visa, so I couldn't, I didn't know how long. I had like a 6-month contract, then I was going on the tour. And it just kept getting renewed because I was employed by Chicago. But I couldn't audition for anything else because I was a Canadian working in the US under a work visa.
And you can't do anything else. You can only do what they want when they want you.
That's
they
right.
pay.
And then I, after a few years, applied for a green card, and then everything changed. And then I was able to branch off and really, as cliche as it sounds, you fly. You do you audition and you try for other companies.
So you have now, since that transition, have made New York your home.
Now it's my home, yep.
And you've been in and out of the company for how many years?
I started in 2003.
God, isn't that amazing?
Going on 17 years.
So this is another thing for young artists coming out of school is sometimes you can get these jobs that can actually become life supporting and career supporting
very,
for
very lucky.
A contract that when you earn your position and show, what a great company member you are, these long running shows that last for years and years, they keep bringing you back.
Yeah.
Because when you're good, you're talented, you're lovely to work with.
Yeah, you have to have a very strong
positive
work ethic,
attitude that they will want to keep bringing you back and keep working with you all those years later, which then of course became your financial.
Sure. Yeah, it was like a gift to have that.
Now that you have established yourself as an actor, working actor, your resume has now branched since Chicago, obviously all these years later. While you are going in and out of Chicago, you're also going to California, Long Beach, doing other shows, Guys and Dolls. Yeah. You would do Addams Family, San Diego. So you have now managed over the years to become international. Not to mention, you still come back to Canada, spam a lot at the Arts Club, Blood Brothers. Yeah. So you've managed now to be an international artist. So how did that expand? How did you go? What was it that you chose to do, or what kind of opportunity presented itself that a young artist maybe coming out might not understand relationships and how instant relationships can have a long-term effect?
Oh, yeah.
Explain a little bit about that.
Well, remember before Chicago, I had done a few shows at the Arts Club. So that connection was already established.
Right.
So I knew Vancouver, if I could come back and audition for things, I had a chance. So even though I was doing Chicago, if there was a show in the season I wanted to come back for, I'd audition or I'd send a tape. When it comes to California, when it comes to the other projects, that was like walking in the room, standing on your X, and auditioning.
Ah.
And I'll never forget it. The year I got my green card, I was not doing, Chicago had ended, and I saw an audition in Backstage, which is, now it's all online, but it's a publication for auditions. And I saw an open call for Pajama Game. And I was like, I'm in LA. I don't know anybody. And I missed the agent call, and my agent was in Vancouver. I mean, they're going to call, you know, so I literally walked into an open call.
Right.
I walked into and by this time, you know, here's where you have to go. It's not about your ego. It's not about, well, I was on Broadway. Who cares? Like, that's great. You want a job. If that's the only way you can do it, go to the open call. Right. You're not better than you're not above. Right.
Yeah,
you're
so
not
that's a key point.
Yeah.
Because see, a lot of people might assume you need to have an A-list agent just to get particular auditions, or B, go, oh God, they hold these open calls because they have to, which they do.
They do. But
however, it doesn't mean that it's a waste of time.
Right.
Because if a talent is talent, or they spot someone who's right for the role, right, that's an opportunity. So it's something like you shouldn't pass any opportunity up.
Because that open call since then has given me 5 other jobs.
Right.
Because
from that
of the team. From that team.
Oh my God.
That's right. You know, I've also done jobs that don't pay great, but the artistic opportunity and the director and the ensemble and the people I'm working with, there is no price to that.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you can afford to do that, I tell people, don't do it all for the finances, because sometimes you have to, you know, you have to do a show because it speaks to you.
Yes.
And that has just as much value.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you learn that along the way. And if that means I want to do this show, but I have to have a side hustle or do something on the side, then do it.
Yeah.
You know?
So what's it like when you're living in New York and you don't have a job? A gig.
Right.
How is that experience? Because see, you hear a lot of the, you know, younger folk or fresh faces, or even people who've been in the business for a long time, struggling with that in between, staying positive while you're not necessarily booking.
Right.
How did you keep your attitude positive and keep your mind in a positive manner?
Yeah, I think it's work. I don't think it's something I think it's a daily practice, to be honest, because it's very easy to get discouraged. It's very easy to feel like you're just a speck in this oversaturated market. And then if your tribe and the people who are you, like your family, your chosen family, we call it, are all actors and they're all going through it, then you're all in the same, you're kind of going through the same thing. So you have to set the tone for yourself of how to go about your day. And this is not the be all and end all. This is just a part of what I love to do. But I get it when I was younger, it kind of was the be all and end all.
Yeah.
Because you have your goals, you have your dreams. But as you progress, you start seeing it's a balance. And it's a daily practice to go, you will walk into rooms and you will leave those rooms and you might not feel so great. You got to shake it off.
Right.
Because guess what? There's another one in a few days, or there's another one tomorrow. And do not take it personally. And the more prepared you are, like I tell people all the time, just be prepared.
Yeah.
Be prepared, do your homework, do your work. So when you walk in that room and you leave that room and you feel good, the rest is out of your control.
Right.
There's nothing worse than walking into a room and going, I could have, should have.
Yeah. Had you worked harder, done more prep.
Don't waste their time. Respect them.
Yeah.
They're giving you your moment. Don't waste their time.
See, that's really good advice, because I think sometimes people will either just wing it or
Don't.
Do 50% and not do 100%. But basically what you're saying is do 150% so that you can leave the room knowing you did your best.
That's
and
right.
if you don't get the part, it's not because you did something wrong. It's just because someone else was what they were looking for. And it's not personal.
Right.
So it's so hard not to take things personally. Rejection.
Very hard. It's very hard. Rejection is awful, but it's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
And, it just is. There's no way to sugarcoat it. There's, I don't have these words of wisdom to say, oh, don't take it. It's not going to hurt. It does hurt.
Yeah.
It does hurt when you get a no.
Yeah.
But it comes with the territory.
It comes with the territory.
It just does.
Yeah.
Like, someone's like,
you have to have a thick skin.
You really, you do.
Yeah.
You have to have a callus.
Yeah.
A callus skin.
Hold that thought. Guys, are you single and looking for love? Do you have that one fabulous friend who just can't find the right partner? Are you a senior who thinks it's too late to get back in the dating game but would really love to meet someone? Then I want to hear from you. ILO on Location presents Sundays on the Couch with Irene, episodes dedicated to connecting singles with other singles. The best part is, I get to be your first date. Doesn't that sound like fun? Interested? Then head over to my website's contact page at www.irenecares.com/contact and send me an email telling me about you. I already know you're fabulous since you're listening. Could there be a podcast love connection out there? Absolutely. You never know who might be listening to you. Anyone and everyone is welcome, no matter who and what you're into. And if you want to keep your name a secret for our listeners, that's okay too. ILO on Location, connecting singles with other singles from the couch. I just refilled our cocktails. Thank you. Once again, we are not driving. We have beds steps away. Okay, so one thing. Yeah. Okay, so one thing I want to also ask you to share with our listeners: when you are a working actor in this particular scenario, you are a union member, so there are union dues that you pay, and on your paycheck they take off things for your retirement and your 401k. However, what would be something you would suggest to artists in general, all ages, all experiences, on something that would be a tip financially, whether it's putting a percentage away or just what would be one of your things you would tell someone, hey, do this and you will have something to show for it at a later date?
I think, when we're starting out, everybody's different. Some people know, they read books about finances, they research it. Some don't. Some never do. Some always will. It is, I personally, it's at least a minimum of 10%.
Okay. 10%. So what does that mean?
10% of my paycheck I put into for me, it's a 401k or an RSP. You can put as much as you want. I think there's a cap, obviously, and there's tons of websites that can explain that to you. Yeah. But I definitely say retirement. And also, I know in the States, there's something like a Roth IRA. I don't know what, I got to figure, there is the Canadian version. It's tax-free savings account.
Oh yeah, TFSA.
That's it, yes. Yeah. Anywhere that there's an investment. So you have something for later on, because later on will come.
So but you've always trained yourself that when you get paid, you pay yourself first.
Always pay myself first.
Because Tara and I, we both share a similar philosophy. Tara would listen to Suze Orman and I would listen to Oprah, who's my Jesus Christ. And Oprah would always say, pay yourself first. Whatever it is, a certain amount of money that you can afford to do. Yeah. And same with Suze Orman, was always make sure that you take that check. And even if you can't afford to pay yourself first, you should still try and pay yourself first.
It could be 5%, but it's better than nothing.
Better than nothing.
Exactly. Definitely take your finances seriously. For sure, have fun, enjoy, but do take them seriously, because it is important. Because especially in our line of work, it is contractual. And especially in the in-betweens, you don't want to not prepare for later on. Right. And it's good to put some money away too. Yeah. Put money away, save, because rainy days come. Right. And the times when you're not working, they come.
Well, especially if you're independent and you're not necessarily, for people who might not have a partner to share finances with, or parents to fall back on. Yep. That way, I think, is another way how you keep from getting down or jaded or upset is when you're not necessarily in a massive financial struggle. Yeah. It's one thing to be, conscious of finances and not spending money that you don't have. And it's another thing to go, I can eat, I can pay my rent.
And also, being in this business is expensive. A voice lesson, headshots, acting classes, dance shoes. There's some girls that wear LaDuca shoes for dance class. They're like $300. Yeah. It's not cheap. So, it's like anything. Anybody who is self-employed in a way, that's what actors we are. In that way, we're freelancers, contract, everything is contractual. You have to be responsible for yourself. Yeah. So I read the books. I go online. I research. I want to learn about it. And through our union, they do put a percentage. But I wish what I know now, I knew in my 20s.
Yeah, that's true. Because then you could have done
different. I would have made
Yeah.
different choices.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
But that's, life in itself. We can't look back.
No, of course
But at
not.
the end of the day, yeah, the thing is, some people don't even ask those questions, like even life insurance or
Yeah.
extended medical,
Yeah.
or if you have an apartment, house insurance, like those basic things.
Well, when I
Sometimes
would
people don't
sublet,
tell you that.
when I would sublet, I got renter's insurance.
Oh,
Yeah, because and I thought of it because I was like, what if anything happens while I'm away? This is my apartment, which is very big in like the Toronto and the New
Yeah.
York markets. Like,
Yeah.
if you're away and you have an apartment, you sublet. That's
Right.
a very common thing because
Right.
who wants to pay rent while you're on a job and
Yeah.
someone can live in your place?
Yeah.
Get that insurance. It's like the grown up stuff. It's all the
Right.
grown up stuff. Like when we're artists and we're actors,
Yeah.
we don't. No, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to because it's just being responsible.
Right.
And I think when you're responsible to your life, it shows in your work too.
Yeah.
But
But who would have given you those? Who would have told you stuff like that?
my dad,
Your dad, yeah.
my family,
Yeah.
and then friends.
Yeah.
Like I would ask around. Literally, I was in a dance class last week, and my girlfriend, she has 5 properties, and this is not someone who's wealthy. She just knew about investment. She wanted to make money through investing at a young age. She has property. She has 5 of them, and she has a whole strategy. And I swear, when I tell you she's not like a millionaire,
Yeah.
she just has a strategy of for later on what's going to work for her. I don't
Wow.
even have one. Like, so
no.
everyone's different.
Everyone's different. Yeah, everyone's different.
Yeah.
But it's still something to think about and be aware of, because then it's never too late. Sometimes people go, "Oh, I should have started that, but I didn't, and now I'm 40 and I don't have."
Oh my gosh,
you're
no, you
never
have to
too.
just do it.
Just do it.
Just do
it's
it.
like a diet. You just
No,
don't
just
talk
do
about
it.
it. Just
Just
do
do
it
it.
one day
Yeah.
at a time.
Yeah.
So, what would you think? What would you say one of your proudest moments are, as like?
Oh boy.
Whether it was a part you booked or an award you won or a review you got or somebody important said something to you, a director, or like, what would be one of your say top 3? Like, just pick something that really resonated with you or made you feel special.
Well, I know like my parents' 5th row when they saw me on Broadway for the first time, that was like a defining moment for me. That was quite exceptional.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a double whammy when you're like, you get nominated, you get an award, or you get a great review. It's a bit of a double whammy. I learned pretty quickly, if you're going to believe the best of the best, you got to believe actually don't believe any of it.
Right.
Don't believe any of it. But if you're going to take in the best, then you got to be prepared to take in the worst. And there's something about that, like, it's all subjective.
Yeah.
It's someone's opinion.
Yeah.
And it's going to hurt, or it's going to feel amazing,
Yes.
or it's going to be an in-between.
Right.
Don't read too much.
Right. Charlotte, my little wiener dog, protecting us. Good girl.
Yeah. So
Right.
that was so it's hard for me to say a review or like an award would have given me that highlight. I think,
Right.
yes, because in the moment you're so excited, but do they stand out today? No.
No, it's moments with a family with family or friends.
Those are what is jumping out. Mom and dad. Oh gosh, it's hard now. I'm trying to think back of these moments. That
Right.
There's
But
just
see,
there's been some great moments.
Yeah.
There really has. But it's never something. But the first one that came to me was, when Mom and Dad were 5th row. That I'll never forget.
Right.
Yeah.
What
was
about
special.
coming up from the ground as Velma Kelly in All That Jazz?
Oh my gosh, just the chills.
Yeah.
The first time the elevator.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
those
of
kind of things.
course,
Yeah.
Or like the first time I saw my name or my poster on a Broadway marquee.
Yes.
I was like,
So there's
what
many
is
moments.
That yes,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
those
yeah,
things,
yeah,
of
yeah.
course. Like
Yeah.
I was trying to think.
But sometimes people don't give themselves credit. The reason why I asked you is
Yeah.
because it's like, there should be like many moments that you're proud of for yourself. But people like it. Sometimes you don't give yourself enough credit.
Right.
Maybe. And be like,
Yeah.
you know what? I was actually really proud of this moment. Or, when I bought myself a nice handbag or whatever.
Oh, I
or
remember
like,
the first time I bought a pair of $200 jeans. I thought it was pretty fancy. Let me tell you something about that. Buy Old Navy, they don't rip. My $200 pair of jeans ripped.
Right.
So
Thank
I'm
you.
like, Old Navy and Gap. Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you.
Old Navy and
TJ
Gap,
Maxx.
you're welcome to sponsor the podcast. Okay, so Tara, we know a little bit about your theatrical career and how you've been managed to be a major success and internationally. And now let's talk a little bit about what are some of your outside passions other than performing? Because one of the new ventures that you've kind of looked into is a side passion to add another avenue to your, toolbox or your life.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what you're exploring in the sort of social media world.
Okay. So I've always loved photography. And a little over 10 years ago, I got a grant to study it in New York, and I did. And I had a little showing at like this gallery, and all the students had a theme, and really got into portrait photography and portraiture. Well, as photography now, everybody's a photographer.
Right. By the way, Terra did my engagement photos, which are stunning. Yeah. You can see them at Terra C Photography on her Instagram, as she also photographed a lot of my wedding. And she's a very talented photographer.
Yeah. So because of the photography and social media blowing up as much as it has over the, literally the decade, if not,
Yeah.
I took a business course in marketing and branding, kind of strategizing brands this fall. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could be an assistant to entrepreneurs, influencers, actors to help build their social media platforms. And so one of the things I offer is this would work for like bloggers and brand ambassadors of like people who are influencers. I will be your photographer. We will build your content. I'll go out there with you. We'll do a huge photo shoot, and there's your content for the next, 2-3 months and your theme. And then at the same time, I'm also your strategist for your brand for social media. And I really like that because I've seen a whole other side to the social media, the power of it. I know so many people have this double-edged sword with Instagram and Facebook because we feel it's an invasion into our lives, or everyone's just showing the highlighted reel. But if you look at the power you have to be of influence, of change, of betterment, those are the kind of people I like to work with.
Oh, okay.
So if there's an influencer whose mission is to help entrepreneurs or any organization that I believe in, that's someone I would probably target and try to work for and see if I can get on their team. Right. Like right now I work with a children's podcast company, and I love what they're doing. And because of the market research I've done, I've found this world of podcasting for the youth is so powerful because they're not on their screens. They have to sit and they have to listen, and their imagination is going. So it's just in a whole other level of seeing something outside of the performing arts. But in the way it does tie into the performing arts. Right. Because it allows me to see how some of my actor friends or companies I work for, how are they representing themselves on social media, and what are they trying to say to their followers, and is that the message of who they are? So it's really interesting because you can combine all of it.
So would you say that you have the acting portion of your life? Would you say you have a photography portion of your life? And would you say you have a new area, a new small business that you're building in the social media branding world of your life?
Right. Not for Terra.
No,
for me,
for others.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Maybe I was just always a business person in the first place, because if you are in this business, you are kind of a business you are a business person, and you're an artist, and you're all of it, but they all kind of go together. And I also just want to have more opportunity in my life. And so I was at the place, and I've been at this place for a while. I just don't want this to be the only thing. I want a lot of things, but that's me. Everybody's so different. Some people go back to school and I have a friend who literally did Chicago for years. Now he's back in school to become a doctor. Like he got into medical school. Right. And then another friend of mine got his PhD, and he's like A-list PT in Florida. Like you hear, it never stops, right? Yeah. You're constantly not searching. I don't like saying that because it makes us feel like we're lost, but you're evolving. Yeah. All the time.
All the time. Yeah. And also just looking at learning something new so you can have a new passion.
Absolutely.
Not everything rely on getting that next gig.
No, it could be exhausting.
Even though you are very consistent and you tend to go from gig to gig, but when you have downtime or days off,
that's right.
In between.
Well, I had 6 months, and that's why I took this course. They say it took 90 days. You have to do it for 90 days. It's like at least a 3-month course, and I did it in 6 weeks. Yeah.
Who would have told you, who would have gotten you that, who gave you that idea? Where did you?
Just me. I like it. I like business. I like entrepreneurs. I knew there was a way well, basically I trying to get my photography online.
Right.
So how do I build my business online? Well, the way the algorithms work in all social media, if you click on one person's site, all the sites that are kind of in that genre will start
popping
people.
up.
Yeah. So
Right.
then I saw the courses to boost your business on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram. This is one of those things I just started researching, and I found a teacher I really liked. And it was just all about everything from administration skills to social media skills to Facebook management to helping a company build from the ground up.
So would you say this skill set would be something that actors could hire you for, or is
Yes, yes. I've had a few friends ask me if I would help them manage their social media.
and that means you would take over their Instagram account?
What it means is it's more like, and this is what I say to every actor. It's actually a good question because you as a product, it's how you want to present yourself. And I always say to people, have 3 to 4 themes of what you want your feed to be. Your stories is your reality TV show, but your feed is for your followers. And so therefore you have to stay very consistent with that. And it's not about you. It's about what you give to your followers, but it is about you. So it's this kind of thing of like you, for example, we know we're always going to get something with Jennifer Lopez at some point you, right? And we know we're going to get like something insightful and inspirational. And we know we're going to get like a friendship and a Charlotte. Like I already know you as an actor, but you as a person, I know your feed.
Right.
And so it's about branding yourself of who you are and what people love to see about you. If you just all of a sudden stopped posting about the things we knew you for, it would be weird. We'd be like, oh, like if someone loves to cook and they're always showing recipes, all of a sudden they don't. Or like dancers or actors, they show their monologue or this is a scene. There's so many things you can do, but you are a brand, and it's not, I mean, there's the narcissism part of social media, of course, but I'm not talking about that. I'm speaking strictly as a business platform.
Yeah.
And utilizing it for a positive.
So you would give people advice, or you would
Consultation.
tell them
Yeah, it's a consultation. I work with you
and say, hey, you should do this, or these are the kinds of things you should focus
there's like,
on.
no, there's like 20 questions I ask. There's a whole questionnaire. And then I go and I analyze it and I come back and then I present a presentation portfolio piece of this is what I got from our consultation. Come back with me and we just go back and forth. Sometimes I'm your voice. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes all I'm doing is just uploading for you because you're so busy. You can't upload every day. Every client's different.
See, I think a lot of people wouldn't necessarily know that this particular thing is offered. This career that you would,
influencers and they do know.
Like I would never have heard of that you could actually hire someone to help with your own.
Yeah, it's called a virtual assistant. That's one of the names for it. Yeah. There's a lot of different names for them.
And so when you found that course, would it be something you would suggest other people to take, or do you have to kind of really be into it?
You have to be into it because it is, again, a lot of people do it. You have to, it's hours of studying. Yeah. Like I'm not going to lie and be like, oh yeah, I took this course. No, it's hours.
Yeah.
And it's math. And it's stats and it's market research.
Right.
Like, it's not like I go, oh, I'm going to fix your Instagram now. And I'm doing market research. I'm looking at statistics. I'm looking at all these analytics and graphs. And no, this is not for the light people. If someone's like, I just want to upload for somebody, just be like, kind of like an office assistant for social. Great. That's a whole other thing. No, my stuff is.
So would you say that this would be a side gig?
Yeah, it is a side gig that I enjoy business. So I'm curious, and this is the way things are running now. Yeah. And also I have my own photography business. So it's also helping me understand.
Something to do for yourself.
Yeah.
Well, because a lot of people, especially older, like, young women or guys that are in our industry, hit, let's say 40. And be like, oh God, like a lot of people go, oh, well, what are those other gigs? What is a side gig as an artist can do? Let's say if you got a contract bar on the beach, you're working for 5 months and then you don't get you're not booked until January. Right. Like what do people do on the side?
I think it's personal. I think it's what, I have a friend who's a ghostwriter and he's a copy. So he will get scripts and he can fix them. It's a ghost, but he doesn't really get the credit for it.
Right.
Or there's copywriters. There's, if you're a writer, if you're an editor, if you love making videos, you could do like, I have a friend who's so good at editing, like through iMovie, like he'll do actors' demo reels.
Right.
There's a lot of
yeah.
stuff you can do, but I would always say to someone, make sure it's something you enjoy. Don't do something just to do it. I mean, try to find something because you'll put your heart into it, and then it'll be more worthwhile than just, oh, I got to do this. No.
So then let's say now you've got a consistent career going. We know that you're currently in negotiations for potentially your next contract, which is still TBD. So we won't talk about that. But let's say you've got your acting scenario underway. You're going to be locking something down there. Now you've got your side business that you're getting up and running.
Yeah.
What are some things that you do on a daily basis to keep a clear mental health brain? A clear way. Let's say you've done your audition for the day or you've landed your rehearsal and now you've got the evening free or a day off. What is something you do just for you to keep your day and yourself balanced?
I watch The Bachelor. No, I'm kidding.
My God. We love The Bachelor.
I watch TV to take my mind off it. Okay. I know. It really does depend. It could be like, I want to see a friend and go sit with them and have a coffee, or I'm going to go take a dance class, or I want to take a walk in Central Park, or I'm going to put on that TV and I'm going to watch all my, like, feel good TV, whatever. Yeah. It's different. Like I wish I could say, oh, I go take yoga. Truth of the matter is the last time I took a yoga class was September. What are we, February? Right. So I love yoga. I wish I practiced it all the time. Right. I don't. But I still love it. I still am a huge advocate of it. I'd love to say, well, I meditate. I don't. No, but I really should. Yeah. You know, like, so what do? Maybe my form of meditation is, well, I do go to the gym, but if someone says, you know why I love going to the gym? Because I read. I get all my magazines. I'm like, I love it.
So just like zoning out.
I think for me, it's more like zoning out. And then I love connecting with my friends. Like I love going out. I love seeing a show, a movie. Yeah. I love being around my girlfriends and my friends.
How do you stay connected to your friends when they're not local? What are things that you offer as a friend to stay connected to your friends? Because having good friendships is not, an easy task. Not a lot of people are great at being good friends. So what is some things that you do that, how do you stay connected with some of your?
I reach out. Right. I ask about their lives. I check in. Mm-hmm. You show up.
Yeah. And that's my conversation from the vault with Terra. Thank you for listening, and thank you to the fabulous Terra C Macleod. You can visit Terra's website at www.terracmacleod.biz. That's spelled TerraCMacleod.biz, as well as visit her on her Instagram handles at Terra C Macleod and Terra C Photography, should you require any of her A-list talents or just want to admire her amazingness from afar. I hope we made you smile, and I hope you heard something positive from our chat today, whether it's being inspired to pursue your passions or thinking outside the box with a side gig to add something new to your day-to-day, or just enjoying a sit-down conversation face-to-face with two old gal pals and their puppies. And let's hope we are all able to sit down face-to-face with our family and friends soon as we continue moving through these coronavirus days and social distancing. Join me again next time with my special guest, Fiona Wilkinson, on ILO on Location. Yay! That's a wrap, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you had as much fun as I did. And remember, if you enjoyed some rosé along with me, make sure you don't drink and drive. The only place I go from my couch is to the kitchen or the bathroom. You can find me at www.irenecaris.com/podcast. You can follow me on my Facebook public page and Twitter at Irene Caris, or on my Instagram at Irene Caris Loper. Thanks to my amazing husband for giving me my married name, aka ILO. The ILO on Location podcast is hosted, produced, and edited by me. God bless. Special thanks to my gorgeous nephew Connor, aka C-Buddy on iTunes, for the original music. And thank you to my puppy Charlotte for being my most loyal listener and adding her 2 cents barking in the background. Join me again next time as I gab away with another one of my fabulous friends.